Previously, don't talk that talk. Let me ask you a question, Rick, because just kind of based on what you were saying, do you feel like, and this is more or less directly specifically to you, but do you feel as though like kids were already consumed with, electronics anyway, which already damaged their social emotional, situations prior to COVID, and COVID just gave them a way to connect even more to what they were already doing?
I think yes. To answer your question directly, yes. But I'm looking at like a whole broad set here, right? Like I'm gonna go real dark for a second because I think it's relevant to the conversation. We have a mass shooting problem in this country. These kids going into these schools, shooting the schools up for whatever reason. And you look at the MO of all of these students, and it's usually the same type of MO. A socially awkward person with not many friends, mostly white men, sexually frustrated because they don't know how to talk to girls. They have none of those interaction skills. So in turn, that becomes okay, everybody's against me, I'm shooting the school up. And then they have parents that empower that. For me, just because something has become a problem doesn't mean we continue to feed into it. I think that is something that comes from parenting, and I'm not going to touch that because I already know that's a touchy subject. I am not yet a father, so I can't speak from experience there. But I deal with kids just like you all do on a regular basis. And we all see the social awkwardness of these kids. Like, I have never seen so many social awkward kids in my life. Even I'm thinking about growing up. Like, I grew up in a community, man. Like, I moved all around my city. My parents, you know, were fortunate enough to get us into better neighborhoods as we got older. So, but growing up, like I see Tina in the comment, Tina and we've been friends since we were kids. We used to play together at the playing park right in front of her townhouse. Our townhouse was around the corner. We used to go to the park and play at that park right across the street from her house. Then when we moved, we went outside and we used to play park football. I don't know where some of y'all from, but we used to, all the parks from my city used to form football teams. And that was how we kept the violence and the drama down between the different hoods. We all played football together. We got it out on the football field. So for me, if you completely take that aspect out, which, like you said, Julian, was already happening, like we're not going to stop technology. Like people just need to get over it. Kids are going to do what they do. I was reading today on BET that people were mad because TikTok put its top 10 earners out and there wasn't not one black person in the top 10 for the content creators on TikTok. And I looked, the number one creator on TikTok is 17 years old. That young lady makes like what, $17 million. They say she makes more money than almost all the CEOs of these Fortune 500 companies. And she's a 17-year-old on TikTok making whatever type of video. I've never seen it. So I don't think we need to stifle what the kids are trying to do from a creative space there. I think that we need to understand that we need to be exposing them to other things other than what they just like. And we talk about that all the time on this show. You can't just give somebody what they like. You have to also expose them to what the real world looks like. You know what I'm saying? So, parents, kick your kids off the phone and kick them out the house and go to the play park and get some scratches on your body and interact with people and learn how to talk to girls. I was dark skinned growing up. It was hard. There wasn't no girls. Don't nobody look.
Struggle was real, bro. Struggle
Oh,
was real.
don't nobody look like Maya trying to talk. Nobody look like me. I had to learn
Absolutely
how to
not.
spit this water. And once I learned how to spit this water and spit this late Minnetonka on them, then things started to change. But hitting the talk daddy to these girls was not easy. And it took years to develop that talent. So I think in general, that's the part of I think the kids probably miss the most from school. I know they do. I've heard them say it. It's the social interaction. And I think that that's going to be more damaging than us not teaching them about Beethoven in person. So
Word. Okay. Oh, my, you about to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you said what real life looks like. That's just a very small excerpt, or my bad. Anyways, that's too far for me to cancel that. Yeah. So let me ask you this. So what about the way? So okay, from my perspective, being corporate, right? The way that when you said that, the way that that appeals to me is what about the way in which the real life is changing too, being fully technology based or 70% technology based or what have you. Like more and more jobs are becoming fully remote. I mean, we have things like Amazon, we have things like my current company that takes e-commerce or takes the norm of, God damn it, something must be wrong. I'll get that in a minute. Sorry about that. Like taking even buying cars. You can buy cars online. You can literally have an accessible, you don't have to reach out to anybody. So is that true? I mean, again, this is very just throwing it out there. I'm very ignorant when it comes to education. But is that really setting it up, or is that really changing or messing up the progression of social skills when in fact a lot of things are going to be technology based or through the sense of a camera? I mean, shit, we're doing this damn show, like fully technology based. So I just wanted to add that thought in there.
But I think that's the reason why I said we can't stop technology, right? Like people that invest. One of the biggest investments right now is the metaverse. Do y'all know what the metaverse is? Facebook is starting this.
Facebook.
Yeah, the Facebook metaverse is going to be one of the. I think it's already valued at like a multiple $1 trillion company because at the end of the day, Maya, what you're saying is absolutely true. We can't stop what's happening with that. We can only either adapt and keep ourselves relevant in that or not. The fact of the matter is, Maya, most interactions in the metaverse, those people will never meet each other. Your best friend will be in the metaverse and you don't know what their face look like. You know what their avatar looks like. You know what I'm saying? So I think that from the standpoint that you brought, Maya, yes, the world is changing, the world is evolving. We will be a part of that, whether we like it or not. But what I'm also speaking of is the other parts. You got to get out your house. You got to be able to go to the grocery store and interact at the grocery store with a cashier. Even though a lot of them are now just computers. You got to be able to get out and pump gas. And things like that. Unless you live in New Jersey. So um, I think there are things in Maya that will always be person to person. And I think that a lot of our kids, like I'm gonna give you a prime example, Maya. I think this will hammer it home. There's a generation of kids that are new to their school and have never, and this is their first year like doing in-person school. Like whether it's kindergartners, whether it's sixth graders, or whether it's ninth graders, kids new to elementary school, middle school, and high school. They don't know how those environments operate because this is new to them. So now you have a whole generation of kids who are interacting with these things for the first time this year. I can only imagine the stress that those students are dealing with. Like I sympathize with them, man. Like me, y'all, in Win Ensemble, when a kid tells me, Mr. Brown, I'm dealing with a lot of mental health, I don't even argue. Take the time you need. Because I know the stress they're dealing with, because as teachers, on all of us, Quan, Julian, we know the stress of having to work in this COVID environment. And everybody that's watching us right now, y'all know. But at the end of the day, that doesn't take away from the importance of those experiences for students. So for me, I think every kid needs to be interacting with other kids and learning what that is like and how to do that so that those kids don't lose those skills moving forward. I think it's going to cause a lot more issues in the future.
Can you imagine if we were in school and you didn't know how to break the graham crackers on the line as a kindergartner? I know that sounds like petty, but just merely breaking graham crackers on the line and sharing them, or the little things of candy grams for Valentine, like all of those social emotional aspect teaches you. Like that's really what your first, that early childhood development really is teaching you.
But
And so
Quan, that's exactly what I was talking about. Though I said COVID has also helped us in some areas because kids' hands are nasty. Can you imagine
I
your
mean,
kid?
You a
Drinking
germaphobe,
sugar
bro?
daddies and
I
shit.
mean, but here's the
You a
thing.
germaphobe.
No, he really is a germaphobe. I'm not even gonna lie. He is a germaphobe. But I thought I was bad. But no, he's not lying. Kids are nasty. You know what I'm saying? But we did some of those things, bro. Like, I mean, let's be real. We all talk about how we drank from the water hose, bro, and we don't know what was in that hose or that water, but we was smashing that water.
Delicious
We was
in that hole.
high, right? And that delicious, man, that water was delicious. You know what I'm saying? So
5 second
I
rule. Yeah.
absolutely, you know,